today we're going to talk about our own theory of styles in sociotics, which basically covers opposite pairs of aspects, opposite sides, as in NISI, TFE, SE, NE, FITI. And we think it represents like two opposite styles of different things for different value systems, basically. And we're gonna just go through them all.
Yeah. So basically, it's like you take your, let's say, superego. Yeah. So you both have your base functions are going to be sharing. They're both going to be on the same type of style, but they're going to be different styles.
Yep.
So
they're gonna be different styles of one particular thing.
Particular thing. Now, yeah, okay. So shall we start with? What do you want to start with?
Well, let's start with. Which ones did? SE and E?
NE and SE? Yes, sure. Okay, so NE versus SE.
That's styles of freedom. Basically, people who either have SE or NE have different understanding of what freedom is. And because NE is abstract and generalization and multiplicity.
Multiple possibilities. And
yes, NE freedom is always interconnected. Your freedom is basically like, and it's also because it's potential, and so it's about
things that could happen.
Yes. It's not that I'm actually literally free, as in SE is sensoric, so it's very literal, it's in a moment.
I am free right now. I am
as
not
in,
chained.
Yeah, I'm not chained to anything. Yeah. There are no like gun pointed at my head, literally, right now.
I am physically not constrained.
Yeah.
I haven't been. My hands aren't tied together.
Yes. But any things like, okay, well, I can potentially go out, or I'm free to potentially go out. It's not that like the door is blocked or not, but can I do it potentially? Can I potentially right now be there? Can I like which would correspond, I guess, to the notion of like positive negative freedom.
Yes. So freedom to as opposed to freedom from.
Yeah.
So freedom to is any freedom.
Yeah.
Whereas freedom from, which is literally freedom from constraints, is so negative freedom is SE.
So yeah, it's like classic examples of like if you're driving a car and let's say you're in a hurry because something happened, and you go down the road. If one thing is like you're potentially free to get there on time because let's say. There's like a C version would be the road is blocked literally and you can't go through. But any freedom is like there is like potentially I can be on that road, I can go there. There is nothing like I have a car basically. I'm like because I have a car I can do that.
It's more like access. I have access.
Yes, I have access to a car. I have access to this. I can be given a car or like this kind of thing.
Whereas SE is what I can do right now.
Yes.
Given moment. Okay. Alright, I think that makes sense. I mean, we basically said, so one good analogy maybe, or is it analogy even, or would you say it's literally identical? So is SE literally identical to negative freedom, the idea of negative freedom? Or is
seems
it
like
that? Seems like that, yes.
I don't want to jump because there are always multiple understandings, and any like humanities you can have different understandings of one thing, but
But as we've defined it as freedom from as opposed to freedom to seems to be the case.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to
FITI.
Yes,
communication.
makes sense. Yeah, communication. So these are styles of communication.
Yes.
So any SEBA styles of freedom, whereas we're looking at styles of communication.
Yeah, so TI is like a direct communication. You mean what you say.
So in other words, it's explicit as opposed to implicit FI.
Yes.
Okay, it's literal as opposed to, again, implied. implicit.
Yes, because if I also communicate, I know that for this person with that motivation, that would mean something, and so I can use this to evoke something in them.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not a direct communication. It's a very different like understanding. Therefore, you always read into stuff, like
Reading between the lines.
reading between the lines, and also like instead of reading, let's say you're reading a text, like I don't know, on again, humanities, for example. If I reading would be, no, I don't read literal words on the page. I'll read into why they said it, what was the motivation behind saying it, what this person meant by that, what was like their inner workings. And I would be like, okay, they said this. That's what they literally said.
Like the door, the writer writes something like, the door is red. TI is like, okay, the door is red. Whereas another person, what does this mean? This probably
for
means
them, for this person.
Yeah.
Because not to be confused with an E, which would jump to associations, which is different.
True. Yes.
If I would read into motivations.
Yeah.
And this is the global styles of communication. So you can see that in many things, including like film stuff, and it's like the way the dialogues in films are written. It's a very good example of that. Because either your characters are implying something and you read between the lines of what is the dynamics between these two characters, even though like they might be talking about what's up for breakfast, but actually what they mean is like, oh, you weren't home yesterday on time or something. Where were you? Do you have someone? Or stuff like that, and that would be very fine thing. While TI would be, what if you wouldn't be talking in a film probably about breakfast because it's not interesting. You would be talking about something that actually matters for the plot directly, because you would mean what you say. Next we have is it going to be style of decision making? Okay, so that would be decision making as T versus FE. And that's like basically two things of like either you make decisions based on what is more efficient, what benefits, what would like be helpful, what would be useful, or you make your decisions like based on what is fun. And this is like again like T decision making is about, okay, I want to do this because this will work better.
It's an optimal.
Yeah, it's an optimal way of
doing
going forward.
Yeah.
For FE, it is the most fun way of going forward. So
when you say fun, you mean it's about whether you like it or not, right? So if it's about, do I like this? Do I not?
Do I enjoy
this?
it? Do I
enjoy this or do I not enjoy this? Whereas T is, well.
I mean, it's enjoy is also a funny word, because T people will actually enjoy the T. They will actually get like, well, if you.
Well, then they enjoy it because it's efficient.
Yes.
So it's almost perverse understanding of joy, but that's just me. I'm just slightly biased. Yes.
You're just
slightly biased.
Yes.
Apologies to all the T people.
Vulnerable.
Yeah.
Okay. But yes, I mean that the enjoyment then comes from enjoyment of, oh, I've done it the optimal way. It was a successful thing. What's the next thing?
And last thing, I think, is going to be, what have we not covered yet? Aesthetics, I think. NI versus SI. Styles of style? Well, no.
Styles of
Styles of style. It's hilarious. Styles of aesthetics, yes. I mean, technically you could say that, but it's just funny.
Yeah, the NI and SI cover two different ways of looking at, like, what beauty is.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, and what ugly is.
Yeah, what is beautiful and what is ugly. Okay, so what's NI beauty?
Oh, again, NI, because it's a sort of intuition, so NI is more abstract thing, but it's like an overall image of something. It's an atmosphere. It's careful with that term.
Yeah.
It's atmosphere.
The atmosphere, the feel of something, or is it more?
Feel is also very word, because you can feel with SI as well.
Impression.
Yeah. It's an impression of something, and so this impression might be beautiful or might be ugly.
Yeah.
And it's a very general thing of this particular thing.
Also, NI is intensity.
Yes.
So,
But
it's
that's
also,
not the style.
I mean,
It's
you
just
like
what
what
NI
is
is.
intense, kind of. If it has intensity in it, then that's beautiful.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah,
Exactly.
That's true,
So
yeah.
what is beautiful is what you perceive as intense, or
Mhm.
in some way kind of like, let's say, otherworldly, but that's not very good. Something that is lofty, maybe. Not sure. Yeah. What about SI? You wanna pause maybe? Yeah, so NI is kind of, we said intense.
Yes.
Also, I said lofty in a way, but that's maybe subjective. At least you perceive it as something that is kind of beyond the, you know.
Beyond the, you know.
in like the generic and, well, not generic. I think
Abstract is the word you're looking for.
maybe, yeah.
Because it's intuition, yes.
Yes, it's
It would be
abstract.
abstract.
But it's also kind of like, I think intense is probably the best word I can come up with to describe it, really. So, okay, with SI, if we'll contrast it with SI, it'd be clear what we're contrasting it with. So SI is what?
Oh, SI is quite a literal aesthetics. It's like, oh, this is a comfortable room. This is a comfortable thing. This, therefore, is beautiful. Or this is
So
a
it's kind of
pleasurable.
like intense versus comfortable.
Yeah, well, and I versify.
Yeah, so
SI, yeah.
so SI valuing people, for them something is pleasing to the senses,
Yes,
literally.
yes. Yeah.
So that makes kind of like a pleasing, like a pleasant, comfortable.
I mean, for example, it's like, I don't know, a painting, and I would think, oh, this painting is beautiful because it's so intense.
Exactly. Yeah.
And as I would think, oh, this painting has like a really
a nice effect
pleasure.
on my
Yes,
senses.
Yes.
Yeah. So like it's a comfortable feeling.
Yeah.
Pleasant feeling. Yeah. So it's to do with your literally like kind of bodily sensations, whereas NI is kind of affects the spirit more. Because
yes,
again, it's kind of the
intuition.
body versus.
It's intuition. It's the same as you think about the
Yeah.
SE and NE stuff. It would be
Yeah.
the same because SE would be concrete,
Yeah.
physical stuff.
Yeah.
And that's why SE corresponds to like negative freedom of actually something affecting you. Of something like preventing you from doing something literally there. Like there is a armed guard standing there and doesn't let you through.
Yeah.
Rather than, and he would think, well, I don't have an opportunity right now, I don't have a possibility of doing that because of obstacles, because of like, because of abstract obstacles.
Abstract obstacles, yeah.
Like, I mean, it's, and this stuff, it actually defines the ways quadras look at stuff, because you would have like very particular, this one of each styles you would have in every quadra, so that would tell you something about this quadra. And it's like, well, say gammas and alphas have aesthetics of NI, well, alphas and deltas have aesthetics of SI. And that's a very different approach. Or decision making, like for delta, decision making is about practicality. For beta or an alpha, decision making is about fun.
Yeah.
That's very different stuff.
Yeah. Okay, great. So, covered all the styles.
Kind of, yeah. I guess so. That would be the first introduction to that thing.
Yeah, we'll be coming back to the topic
to elaborate
very,
on that.
Very interesting. And if you have any questions, let us know in the comments below.
And if you like our content, please subscribe.
Right, great. See you next time.
Bye.